Welcome to a series of videos where the focus will be preparing you guys for the AOM or the Art of Math series, which is the main playlist or series that I have on the channel. So there'll be about 4 or 5 videos here. And if you feel like there's anything I'm not covering or you want to cover before going into the Art of Math series, please let me know if there are other topics, if there's any questions, you guys, comments, anything at all. All right, so let's get started. So today's question is working with mixed fractions versus improper fractions versus decimals, which is better? You might have been told, and I've noticed a lot of students tend to prefer mixed fractions or decimals. So for example, mixed fractions would be like 1 1/3, decimals would be 1.3 with a bar over it, or 1.333 infinitely. So a lot of you guys prefer that, and girls, but in this video, the main thing I want to get across is that improper fractions are actually very underrated, and a lot of you should be using more of that. So let's get into it. So here's an example to show you what I mean. We have in the inner boxes the same numbers in all of these different forms. So we have as a decimal 1.125. 1 1/8 is the same thing as a mixed fraction, and 9/8 is the same thing as an improper fraction. So we're going to do an operation which is multiply all of these by 16. Now in this case, I can't see how to do it, and it looks pretty hard and annoying. So unless you were to do this by hand very slowly, you cannot do this or at least I can't do this in my head. So this is pretty hard. So that's why there's the 2 sad faces. The 1 1/8 times 16, doable, but still a little tedious. I mean, you could do the 1 times the 16 and get a 16, and 1/8 times 16 is a 2. So then you can add those up to get 16 plus the 2. That's fine. But check this out. If you use the 9/8, then you notice immediately what the simplification is. 16 over 8 is just 2, and 9 times 2 is 18. So voila, you get that much faster. And this kind of example is not unique. This stuff happens all the time. And so I really want to emphasize that for me, and I really recommend that the winner is improper fractions. So if you're doing, especially if you're doing a problem with a lot of calculations, until you're done, stick with the improper fractions if you can, because that will allow you the opportunity to take a lot of these shortcuts. So that's what I say, especially for intermediate results. So till you're done, if you're still calculating, don't start converting 9/8 to 1 1/8 or to 1.125, only at the very end. Now, just a quick little analogy. I think of improper fractions as kind of leaving your shoes on. So if there's an emergency and you have your shoes on, you can run outside. If you don't have your shoes on, you need to first put them on. So these decimals and mixed fractions, you kind of don't have your shoes on. So if I told you to multiply by 16, you first need to put on your shoes, turn it into an improper fraction, and only then can you do something. So I really recommend to work mainly with the improper fractions. That said, obviously if you're using a calculator, it might be easier to punch in a decimal. So it's good for calculators. And if this is your final answer without the multiplying by 16, this can be pretty nice so you could see all the significant digits. So it's good for calculators and final answers. Mixed fractions I like for final answers and not really for much else. I would say this is far superior for any intermediate work, and it's okay for calculators. It's still better than mixed fractions, probably not as good as decimals. So with that said, the winner is the improper fraction. So make sure you guys are really working mainly with these, and unless your teacher or something has his or her own requirements, then stick to what they've told you. But if you're doing a lot of work, this is the way to go. All right, so I'll leave it there for this video. Let me know if there's any other topic either related to this or anything in general that you want me to cover. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.